I'll try and hit on these points, give you some examples, try and have some time for questions and any other comments anybody might have. So to begin with, I'm going to be showing a few areas of the user interface revamp. I know that in past webinars we have shown a little bit of this, so I'm going to not focus too much on that. And then after that, I'm going to be talking about the decoupling of the location from the ticket hierarchical flow and making it part of the user account. And I'll show you exactly how that works. One thing that I won't actually show, but just so that everybody's aware, if you're using ZENworks and you're on ZENworks 11, everything HelpDesk is integrated with ZENworks 11 now with this version 10 release. And then finally, the biggest part of what I'm going to focus on is the ACL, which is the access control list. So we'll show that a little bit here on what the access control list can do for you and some ideas on how you can use it to really create those roles and rights in the HelpDesk. And then after that, we'll have Q&A, and then we'll finish up. So I'm going to go ahead and start now, and we're going to go into the HelpDesk. Give me just a moment here, and I'll share my desktop, and we'll go from there. One thing to be aware of as well, you'll see this URL here. You can, anybody who would like to can visit this URL. It's demo.grouplink.net/EHD-demo. That is actually a demo server that we have up. Feel free, if you'd like to play around with this, with the new version. Just so you know, this is a beta version, so there are some known bugs. You should have received that in the email as well. But I'm going to go ahead and start out, and I'm just going to show you some of the things that have to do with the UI. Before I do that really quick, I'm going to go ahead and start that poll. And this has to do with what I said before about category and category options. So you should have something that popped up about that poll. Feel free to just answer it. It's either a yes, no thing there. Okay. So as you can see, going back to this, I'm going to log back out. As you can see, the login screen has changed a little bit. Looks a little different, a little cleaner. Pretty self-explanatory on how everything works. I'm going to log in as the admin and just show you a few areas on some things that have changed. So you'll notice right here in the settings part of the HelpDesk, we've changed the way that this looks and kind of the setup of it a little bit. You'll notice that there's really, it goes in an order. There's a global tab here, basically things that you can do on the global level. There's a system tab, a ticket tab, and then the permissions, which is the ACL. Really, those of you who've worked in the admin side of it a lot, you'll notice that has changed a little bit. And then really what I'm going to talk about today is just kind of a little bit of the different look and feel here, how that works. So here in the user accounts, you'll be able to see quickly all the users, very similar to the way the previous versions have worked, with some slight differences. To be able to add a new user, just right here, new user, easy enough, right? Add the new user in manually here. You can make them active, deactive, and one thing that's great that I'm going to talk about a little bit further on is the location. Right here, you can actually set that location for this person, and I'll show you one of the ones that we've done already, just as an example. So this Jack Harris, he is in North Elementary School. Now, just so everyone is aware, this particular example in this demo that I'm giving is not integrated with my Ldap, with the directory. So when you do that with the directory, if the location from the directory, when you're mapping that, matches a location within the HelpDesk, this is going to pull over on its own. So you're not going to have to set this here. It's going to pull directly from your directory via Ldap. But you'll notice there's a lot here in the user account. One nice thing, as I stated, you can make it active and deactive. Here's where you put the phone, the addresses, and then here's where you can add the roles, whether that's what group they're part of, and then the role in that group, manager, technician, user. Obviously, when you first create the help desk and import your users via Ldap or however else you import them or put them in, the default is everybody's a user and you have to set the roles, just like it's been before. Okay, the scheduler is the same as it's been. Just take note that there are different buttons, different icons for the different things you can do, like the pencil type icon is edit. Obviously the red X is to delete that, and then the status is the same as before. It's a play and a stop button. But everything else in the scheduler is the same. The knowledge base article, knowledge base management is slightly different, but it's very similar in the sense of what the power is the same, just the icons and the look and feel is different. One thing to take note of that I will show in just a minute when it comes to assignments, but it just made me realize really quick before I get there. One thing to point out is this new feature in here, which is breadcrumbs. For those of you who've probably seen this in other software, it's basically the ability to go back to where you were. So I skip down to assignments, and I'll go back really quick, but when I create a new assignment, you'll notice that there's this breadcrumb to be able to go back to assignments. Kind of a cool thing to be able to work through the help desk. So this is all this is very similar to the way it's been, just a different look and feel. Same with the Ldap, the mail, the collaboration, ZENworks integration here. You'll notice that it's ZENworks 10 or 11. You can fill that information out there. Okay, and then when it comes to ticket, so the ticket, you're going to start off creating the locations. One thing to take note of, you need, like I stated before, if you're going to integrate with your directory via the Ldap, you want to make sure that your locations here match what's in your Ldap so that will automatically be created. So, and then easy enough, very similar to the way it was before. You put in the name of the location, put in some comments, save that, and then you can build things from there. Groups, same type of idea as before. Add a group. You have the edit group. Delete the group. One thing to take note of here, and I'll talk about this a little bit, is from the group here is where you can set the group roles, and then one thing that's very different is the group permission model. So in this, you're going to choose the permission model that you will set in the ACL. So I'll go over that in a minute, but just so that everybody is aware, the group part of the help desk is where you set the permission model. So you create it via permission models, but you apply it to the group here. So that's something that I want to just make mention of and make sure that everybody's aware of, is that by all of the ACL things that you're going to do, all of the rights and roles that you are going to give your users, technicians, managers, etc., are based on groups. So it's just something that everybody needs to be aware of when they're creating different permission models. Those permission models can be applied to different groups. Now, this is going to give you a lot of flexibility and a lot of power in the sense that you're going to be able to really get granular on what you want to do in the help desk, and you can set them by each group. So I'll talk a little bit more about that and explain that a little bit more in just a moment when I get into the permissions and that, but I just want to emphasize that all your permissions in the ACL are based on groups. So if you want to have different models, different ACL models for different individuals, you want to be able to do that based on their group. Whether you want to have an IT model, a maintenance model, maybe you want to have a model that's more of something just for your technology group that nobody else sees. There's a lot that you can do there. Okay, and then in categories, category options, you would create them all here. So you'd start with the group, you'd create the group, and then you can create the category and category options directly from the group. And you can set the group roles, right, all from this screen. So a slight change there, but similar to the functionality here. And so to create a new category, it's just there, new category, similar as before. You can make, the nice thing here is you can make a category active or deactive. New category option, same thing, active, deactive. You can edit one of these that you have selected as well. Okay, so this is another thing that I just want to put a lot of emphasis on as well as the assignments page. So the assignments page, we're calling it the assignments page. We used to call this the create multiple assignments. So this will be something that you're going to need to get used to. We see the power in this way of doing it, and with the UI revamp, we made the decision to be able to make this slight change. I think everyone will be happy with this change and will appreciate it, but I just wanted to explain it a little bit. And that is, you will remember in the old system, or excuse me, in the previous version, when you would create multiple assignments, there was a lot of items to choose from. And so you'd choose one of your technicians, you'd choose the location, and then you'd be able to do all the check boxes for all the different things that they need to be doing. Just so that everybody is aware, whenever you create a group within the help desk, the default is a ticket pool. So right off the bat, everything is going to be assigned to the ticket pool by default. If you want to change that and you don't want the ticket pool to be assigned, you can do that. That's not a problem. You can go ahead and delete the ticket pool. Right here, you'll notice that there's the ticket pool for IT. You can delete that out of there. And then you can also create new assignments for anything you want to do. So this really has to do with the auto routing of tickets. The other thing too, just to be aware of on this page, is this is where you can actually apply do some quick searches of what your different assignments are. So if you want to be able to see everything that Jack Harris is assigned to, oh, it looks like nothing right now, anything that Peyton Manning is assigned to, you'll be able to click on him as a technician and see what all of his multiple assignments are. So we can see that he is the technician in the high school for the group of information technology. Then he's also a technician for the high school for outlets. And I'm going to explain that in just a moment on how this works, but just so everyone's aware that there is that filter ability here. You can also filter on location, group, category option, etc. Okay, so if you go to create new assignment, so what you need to do, obviously, is choose the technician first that you want to create the assignments for. We're going to choose John Stockton here. And then what you need to do is you have to start with location. Location is you have to choose the location that they are a part of. That's the required assignment. So if I'm making assignments for John Stockton, I have to first choose the location. Then I can go on from there. And I want to just make note of something here. You can drill down as far as category option. And so category option, you can go just as before. You can go as granular as saying, I only want John Stockton to access or to be assigned to address book category option for the central office. And then if I save that assignment, that's what's going to happen. So in the ticket hierarchy, when I'm choosing group, when I choose the location, the group, the category, and category option of address book, John Stockton is going to be the only one to appear to the end user. You do not have to choose category and group. The system will know that by choosing address book, what category and group that's a part of. So if you go down this low, you don't have to choose the things above that. Also, in the same way, category, if I choose John Stockton to get all of the email issues, address book is part of that. So you don't have to choose that as well. Now he's going to be assigned to everything under the email, every category option under the email category. The same thing goes for groups. If I assign him as information technology, he's going to be the assignment for all categories and all category options. So really that's how this multiple assignments works is you can start to build those on the technician and start to go through and create those multiple assignments. For those of you who have had this situation where you've created a new category and a new category option and you have to save the multiple assignments again when you create the new assignments and it's taken you a long time to save, that has been resolved by this new way of handling that. If anybody has further information or wants further information about this or would like to, has questions about how to set this up or anything of that nature, feel free to contact me, and we can schedule more one-on-one training. That goes for anything that I've talked about. If you feel as though you need more personal training on this, you want to have some of your other technicians that haven't seen this be able to see these things, feel free to contact me. We can get that scheduled for you as well. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the custom field setup. One thing before I do that, just to be aware, now that I've created that and I save it, if I go back to the assignments, I can see that saved in there, the new assignment that I created, and then I can also filter and see all the ones for each technician in each location. Okay, so custom fields. Here are the custom fields that you've created. Very similar to what you've done before. There is one thing that's cool. Oh, maybe somebody logged into this. Hold on, let me log back in. Okay. Okay, so custom field setup. One thing that's cool here is you can have now global custom fields that apply across the board. If you want to have a custom field that works on any category and category option, you can now do that. All you have to do is you just name it, choose what kind of field type it is. For this, for time's sake, I'm just going to say test. You can put the order of what that custom field is going to be on 0, 1, 2, et cetera, depending on what you have. You can make it required or not required, but you can do a global custom field that is based on any location, group, category option. This is new with 10.0. So if you've been wanting that, you've been wanting to see a global custom field, it's now in there. So we're really excited. I know there's a lot of people that were looking and waiting for that. So this is something that we didn't market very much, but it is something that's in there so that everybody can be able to create those global custom fields. And then, of course, as before, you can go down in and you can create custom fields based on anything, location, group, category option. Okay, statuses. Same type of idea on statuses, looks slightly different. Nice little ability to move them here between where you see them, whatever the initial status is, etc. And then the close status. And that's all done when you add them there. Okay, so now let's go on to priorities. Same idea here. You can create priorities. You can have them be different colors. You can have them be blank, etc. All right, so what I'm going to get into now is I am going to get into the decoupling of the location and just some ideas behind that. I have touched on that a little bit when I talked about how it's tied with your directory via Ldap, that it will pull that information directly over. If you're not tied to your directory, you do have to set that location when you're creating each one of those users for it to autofill. So if you're not integrated with your directory, it will take a little bit of work at the get-go to be able to create all those locations for each one of the users. However, it will benefit you in the long run. So one thing I want to make mention of with that is when we did that, it did slightly change the way that a ticket is done. And what I mean by that, I'll just show you here really quick. So when I create new ticket, the first thing I'll need to choose right off the bat is group. So me as a technician or a user, I have to choose group right off the bat. So is this an IT thing? Is it a maintenance thing? Whatever it may be. And you'll notice when I chose that, the contact of John Stockton, he is at the central office. So the location automatically pulled over. And then all the end user technician needs to do is choose the category option as before, put in the subject. One thing to take note of, and this is something that we had some interesting internal discussions about, but on the ticket hierarchy, everything is built off of group now because of the fact that we decoupled that location and gave you the ability to auto-pull that location. And also, so the thought behind the decoupling the location was, one, to be able to auto-pull that, so it's not a field that a user has to fill out. Two, in the ticket templates, to be able to give you flexibility to have ticket templates that will go across locations. So if I have a ticket template that is created and I want it to be different or I want it to be for different locations, I can leave the location blank on the ticket template and it will still work because it's going to pull that directly over. One thing to take note of with that being pulled out, that if I've filled out this ticket, the location category option, and I change the location, it's not going to change the category option. So that's something you're going to need to be aware of, that in the previous version, if you change location, it would reset everything. In this case, because it's decoupled, it does not reset everything. If you want to change the location, you're going to have to make sure that you go back through and choose the category and category option. And the reason I wanted to state that is that there, as we showed before on the multiple assignments, if there's an assignment for a certain location, like as we did before John Stockton at the high school for all address book things, if I change this location and John Stockton's in the assignment, but he's not really assigned to the central office, that ticket will still save. It's just not going to work correctly. So just be aware of that by changing the location, it's not going to change these, and you're going to have to go through and do that. Probably the easiest thing to do if you're going to go through and do that, if you haven't already saved the ticket, would be to just start over on the ticket, close this one out, start a new one, change the group. Also to take note of, if you change the group, that is going to start the whole thing over. That's where it will reset everything, just like before. But just be aware of that, and we'll make sure that we push that out. We're going to push that pretty hard to let everybody know that is how this system works with that location being decoupled. Okay, I hope that everybody's enjoying what we're presenting here, and I haven't put anybody to sleep. I know there's a lot of talking here, and it's my voice the whole time, so if you need to stand up for a minute, feel free. We're going to get into the ACL. If you have any questions, once again, feel free to put those through. Let's see. I'm going to just check really quick if there's any questions before we get in to the ACL, and then we'll go from there. Okay. So we have some questions about the knowledge base. Just to be aware, the knowledge base the functionality did not change. In this particular version, we are looking at changing the functionality there, but the functionality of the knowledge base has not been changed. Question about if a user can enter their own location. Yeah, a user can enter their own location. It's the same thing as now, where a user can edit their location information. Now, with the ACL, you can block that too. So if you want to be able to give them the ability to change their location, you can. If you want to take that away, you can as well. But yes, an end user can enter their own location there, if you're not pulling it directly over from Ldap. Survey question. Unfortunately, there has not been any changes to the survey. Okay. Oh, good. This is a great question. The time frame for 10. So version 10, our current plans are to have this version out depending on how the beta test goes. But we are planning on having it out by the end of August. So about a month from today, you should be seeing an email with the official release. information. But yeah, as of right now, we're looking to have it released by the end of August. Can custom fields be included in email notifications? Good question. That would be via the scheduler. You can create custom fields in the email notifications that you create via the scheduler, but yes, they can be. Okay, and then another question is the location that is pre-filled the only location they are able to choose? Hopefully I answered that when I went through that, but no. You can choose another location. That's just going to be the one that pulls automatically over. So that will be stored in the user account information within HelpDesk if you're not integrated with your directory, or stored in your directory if you're integrated there. But they can choose other ones. So if I create that new ticket, I'll just show that again really quick. If they create that new ticket, central office pulls over, but I can choose another one. Even being a user, they can do the same thing. Okay, another question is, are location info and LDAPs include room numbers? How will EHD handle this? That's a great question. It'd be the similar idea. You just have to make sure that, oh, that's a good question. You know what, I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. I just realized what the implications of that could be. So that's a question that I would have, is if the directory has the location plus the room number, or if it's, yeah, that I'll just have to get some clarification on that. If it's plus the room number, you can map that via the Ldap, and it will be in the user information. And what I mean is, let me just show you really quick here. So the location is still going to auto pull, but you can map a room number in the contact information here. It would just appear under phone, but that's not a field that's reportable that you can build a report on. It is something that we are looking towards doing in a future release, is being able to have a customized contact field. That's something that is on our roadmap. Okay, the next one is, if you fill out all the ticket info fields and then change the group, will all the ticket info have to be re-entered? Yes. If you fill out all the items from the ticket info, all of these fields, and you change that group, you will have to fill those back out. And then, permission models wasn't exactly explained. I haven't got to that yet. I'll get to the permission models in just a moment. Okay. Can you search custom fields? Absolutely. Can you assign text to multiple locations? Yes, you absolutely can. So let me go back, and I'm going to just show a couple of things really quick as the admin, just to answer a couple of those questions. If you're creating a new assignment, you choose the technician, choose the location of central office, choose the location of high school, choose the location of, you can choose multiple locations. So yes, that's still in there, the ability to do that. And then searching custom fields. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is something that I almost glossed over, is that the filters, the search, which you then build filters and reports off of, has been modified slightly. Same functionality, but we hope we've cleaned it up a bit for you. So you remember, in the version you're using right now, when you come into the search, there's a whole grundle of checkboxes and boxes, right? So when you come into this now, you can create, like I said, the same functionality, however, in a slightly easier way of doing this. Instead of seeing all these fields up here as checkboxes and then the boxes appearing down here, all you have to do is choose your what you want to filter on right off of this. So let's just say we want to do all open tickets. So I'm going to say everything that's not equal to closed. Okay, so that's it. Status not equals closed. There's that. And then if I want to see all high priority open tickets, I can say priority equals high, status is not closed. That's all you have to do. And then you can build this filter out with any amount of things. And then if I wanted to see, oh, I want to see everything that's assigned to Jack Harris, you'd be able to just build that. So you're building the reports that way. So you're creating the different Boolean operators within each of these, like in the status of the not equals equals, and then you're creating all these different criterion to be able to create a filter. And then the other nice thing is you don't have to do the little checkbox that you used to have to get it to be in the columns. That's kind of, it's independent from the filter here. You just choose the column that you want to appear in that filter, in that search, just right here. Add the note, change where it is, and now you can just go ahead and apply that filter, save that filter, reset it, save as. So if I apply the filter, it's now giving me a list of tickets. It looks like I've got a few of them here that pulled right up. But that is how the new filters work. Okay. So just like I stated before, feel free to sign up for the beta test. Start playing with these filters. If you don't necessarily want to download the beta and participate in that, feel free to play with it here on the demo.grouplink.net/EHD10 demo. I ask that you don't play with it right now, since we're in the demo and it would kick me out, but just be aware. Okay. And yeah, be aware that if a lot of people are working on this at the same time, it could kick other people out. All right. Okay, we had some questions about upgrading. The upgrade from your current version, any 9 version, it's a quick upgrade. There's nothing that you have to clean up. It's a direct upgrade. Question about the quick search. The quick search up here, it still searches the same type of thing. So you're going to be, it'll search the contact, the body, the notes, but yeah, that quick search has not been beefed up at all. Okay. All right, so let's get into the ACL really quick, and then I'll try and make sure that there's time for a few more questions. We are running a little bit short on time, so we'll try and make this quick. Okay, so the global permissions right off the bat, these are things that are fixed, and these are the things that you can set right off the bat, and they're these, let's see, there's 7 things. You can have system configuration, so you can give permission to a number of people to be able to configure the system, and that's what we've been going over, these global system ticket. That system configuration can be given to different people. By default, of course, that's going to be the administrator. Only administrator will be able to do that. Same thing with user management, etc. However, as you noticed in here, each one of these things will be set up by default on what they can do, like manage dashboards. By default, it's administrator and manager, but you can modify those to be whomever you'd like. Survey management, same thing, custom field management, asset tracker, etc. So the nice thing with this is you can actually add particular users. So if you want to have one user be able to do surveys or be able to manage dashboards, you can do that. All you'd have to do is when you go into the dashboard thing, you can create a new user in that dashboard to be able to be somebody who can work on that. So if I want, well, that's a manager. If I want Shay Miller to be a user that can manage dashboards, I can add them here, save that dashboard, or save that global permission, and now you'll see that user, I guess Shay's username is user, and then the other user of Jane can now manage dashboards. If I want to get rid of that, do that. There you go. Go back using the breadcrumbs to global permissions, and now you'll notice that just Jane, the user, is there. So you can this gives you a lot of flexibility on what you can do for different permissions within the help desk. So we'll go ahead and edit this. The other thing, as I stated, you can also have different roles. One thing to take note of, you can even make it to the all users. That's what this user role is. All users within the help desk, if you put that in there, they will have the ability to do whatever you want, add, edit, or delete user accounts. So be careful with this. Make sure that you understand what you're giving people before you do that global permission. Okay, and then now into the permission models. As I stated before, you can create as many permission models as you'd like. This is the access control list, and then you just need to make sure that you apply them to the groups. And so if I create, I'll just edit this one really quick, and I want to be able to apply that. You have to, once I've created that permission model, I will need to add the group that I want it to be part of. And what it's going to do is it's going to take me back to the group configuration page, and this is where you can modify it. So it's not necessarily modified through this page. You can see what that's applied to. So if I create a new one, I'll just do this one. I'll just call it test. And I go through this ACL that when you first create it is going to be by default the exact same as the ACL, or well, there wasn't really an ACL in previous versions of HelpDesk, but it's set up the way that previous versions of HelpDesk are set up by default. So users have the ability to create tickets and view their own tickets, run filters and reports off of their own tickets as it currently stands within the help desk. Technicians have the ability, obviously, to edit, modify tickets, run reports on things that they're on groups that they're a part of. Well, in here you can now do a lot of different things within the help desk to be able to create different roles and responsibilities in the help desk. So you can go as deep as giving different people the ability to manage group settings. Right now, it's just given to the manager. If you want to add a new one, you can add the user. One thing to take note of in this particular thing is that it's when you choose a role in here, it's going to be that role and above. So if I choose it as a user to be able to manage group settings, that means the user, the technician, manager, and administrator will be able to do that. If you have a particular user, so you want to leave that by default back to manager, but you have a user that you want to be able to have that ability that may not necessarily be the technician or a user, you can do that right here by choosing that particular user that you want to have that ability. So you can get that granular, and there would be a lot of I forgot to save that. There'd be a lot of ideas behind that on what you can do. Manage ticket templates, launch non-public ticket templates, manage custom fields, view all group tickets, delete attachments, schedule appointments and tasks. I'll let you look through this and just see, but there are many, many things that you can do in here. You can even pull out the ability. So this is where we had some questions about knowledge base. This is where the knowledge base has been slightly improved in the sense of being able to apply ACLs to different groups. So if I want to be able to have knowledge base articles that are only to one group, but I want those knowledge base articles to only be viewed by certain people, you can do that here. All you would do is change who can view knowledge-based articles. Right now, users can view them, but if you only want to see managers or admins or technicians, or you only want to see certain users to be able to view knowledge base, you could just change that right here. Change the role of who can see that, change a technician, for example. Now you save that permission model and apply it to the group that you'd like that to be applied to. So back here, if you applied the test group permission model to, let's say it's a transportation group, and now you've given the ability of a user, or you've taken away the ability for users to see knowledge-based articles, and you can make it so that only certain technicians can do that. It's an example. I hope that we find a lot more examples of things that you can do as you start to play with that. But you'll notice there's a lot of things: mass edit tickets, view the contact, change the contact, view who it was submitted by, view the assignment. There are so many things in here that you can do. One thing to take note, I know that this applies to a lot of people that may have managers or principals or superintendents or people in the help desk that they want to be able to run reports where that person can see all the tickets in the system, but you don't want them creating tickets or modifying tickets. You can actually set that role, that person in there, to be able to view all group tickets. Then if they can view all group tickets, they can run reports off of all those group tickets. So you could come in here and you can leave the role at technicians, the technician's ability to view all group tickets, and you can come in here and add a certain user that you want to be able to view those group tickets, giving you some increased functionality about on how you are able to use different users within the system. So, but once again, we were talking about on the location before and giving users the ability to change their location. If you want to take that away, so when they're submitting a ticket, that it doesn't change the location because that's where they're always at, and you're afraid that maybe it will make problems for the way you auto route or whatever, you can take that away. You can take away the ability to change that location. And all you'd have to do is just go in here into roles, take away the user role, set it to technician or set it to manager, whoever you'd like. You can do that. And then the polling question, just so I can let everybody know on the idea behind this once again, is this this view category, change category, view category, and view category option. If you remove those from the user, the great thing there is when they submit a ticket, they won't see those fields, and so that makes the ticket submission that much more simple. And then your technicians can go in there and make those changes. Now, if you're using a lot of the auto routing, as we've discussed, you probably don't want to do that if you trust your end users are submitting the correct thing. So really, it all depends on your use scenario of the help desk. If you want to make that form super simple for them, you could take that away. However, the way it currently stands, and we'll make a decision here internally, so when the release comes out, we'll be sure to communicate that to everybody, is the way it currently stands, category and category option are required. So you cannot, if you take away that ability to view or change category option from your users, they really can't submit tickets. So one way or the other, when the official release comes out, that's going to be in there in some shape. So we'll get your feedback. Your feedback is valuable. Feel free to put that through when you're doing the testing as well. So I'm not going to go through any more of these. We're running out of time here. So just like I said, start playing with this. Start working on that. And yeah, good luck. Good luck with the new version. We're really excited for it. We know that it's going to add power and functionality to be able to make your help desk experience the best it can be. And once again, if you want to be a beta tester, please participate. If you want to If you want to have any feedback submitted, feel free to submit tickets via support.grouplink.net. If you've never created a user login for that, go ahead and create one, log in, and submit a ticket with your feedback on what we've gone over, any ideas you may have, etc. Okay, so some questions that have come through. Hopefully I answered those. There was one. Okay. And then once I'm finished with the questions, we'll go ahead and finish up. Once again, if anybody had anything that they didn't see and would like to, feel free to contact me. I'll throw my email address up there again at the end. We can schedule some things to be able to help you better understand the new version of Everything HelpDesk. Okay. Customizable survey question again. We haven't made any changes to the surveys. Okay. So then the question about giving users the ability to view a specific person's tickets, that we wouldn't be, there's not a way to view specific tickets. You'd be able to view all the group tickets and apply that ACL to that. Let's just see. I'm just looking through here really quick to see if there was any that have to do with that. View category, view no. No, there's not ability to see specific person's tickets. There would be ability to see tickets in a group and location, etc. Okay. So question about now that users have technician rights, that is something that you can, that is a role that you cannot give to a user, and that is if you want to be able to give a user the ability to modify tickets, change tickets, modify tickets, that is something you cannot do. Once you try and assign that, well, there's just not the ability in the system to be able to assign a user, assign the user the ability to act like a technician, that is, modify tickets. That's where once somebody has the ability to modify a ticket, it burns one of your technician licenses. However, giving users the ability to view all group tickets, that's not going to affect the pricing structure at all. So that's what the question was about, is how the ACL affects pricing, and it will not do that because pricing is based on technician, and you cannot give users the ability to modify tickets. Okay, knowledge-based article protection using the ACL. That is one of those. Manage knowledge base right there. You can take away the ability for somebody to manage the knowledge base. That is, edit knowledge base articles. Ticket at a given location, good. You can view, let's see if I can see that here. View location, view all group tickets. Yeah, you should be able to do that as well. And then our permission model is different per group. Yes, that's how you set that. You create the ACL, you create the permission model, and then you apply it to that group. So that's really, you create the permission model and then you apply it to the group. So it is going to change based on the group. It's whatever you apply. So if you want different permission models for different groups, you create them and then apply them to the group. Okay. All right, that's really everything. It looks like that's all the questions. If I missed your question, I apologize. Tried to get through all of them, but wanted to finish up here. Be mindful of everyone's time. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen once again. If you would like to play with that, feel free. If you'd like to be a beta tester, please sign up for it. I'm going to throw that back up there. Feel free to visit these URLs to be able to be a beta tester. I'm also going to throw up my contact information if you want to be able to contact me as well. Oh, and my phone number's not on there, but I'll throw it through in the chat here. If you'd like to schedule a time to be able to go through some other ideas on what you'd like to see. And yes, there will be a recording of this for everybody to be able to view. I will send that recording out either later today or tomorrow for everybody to be able to access. Thanks everyone for being here and for your time, and we hope that you're excited to be able to start using version 10 and start testing it as well. Thanks everyone, and hope you have the rest of a good day.